Hi everyone, welcome to NK Studios channel. This is the fourth video of Create Bamboo Tree by Geometry Nodes in Blender series. In this video we are going to create bamboo bark. Create a curve. Rename to Bamboo Tree. Add a geometry nodes. Rename it. We will use Bezier segment node in this case, because it's really good for animation later. Increase the end height to 20 meters. And handle height to 15 meters. We will do the same method like twigs and branches. Set curve radius node. Curve to mesh node. Set material node. Capture attribute node. Spline parameter node. Curve circle node. We will use a higher resolution for this bark. 8. Add a float curve node. Change a little bit. Reduce the radius to 0.3 meters. Add capture attribute and spline parameter nodes. Add combine XYZ node. Rename to bark UV. Add UV name Bamboo Bark UVS. Add material. Rename it Bamboo Bark. Set material. Open a new shader editor window. Add attribute node with Bamboo Bark UVS. Add separate XYZ node. Add a color ramp node. Change color as you want. Add a mix color node. Change blending mode to multiply. Factor is 0.2. Add a wave texture. Change some parameter. And now we got bamboo bark material. Now we create a bamboo joint. Add a curve. Change name to bamboo joint. Add a geometry nodes. Change name. We use a curve line node. Change Z value of start and end. Add a resample curve node to redistribute control points. Add a capture attribute node. Add a spline parameter node. Add another capture attribute node. Curve to mesh node. Set material node. Curve circle node. Combine XYZ node. All steps are the same as we did before. We change resolution of curve circle node to 8, same as the bamboo bark. Change float curve node. Reduce radius of curve circle. Add some point for the float curve node to get a specific shape of this bamboo joint. Now we go to Shader Editor. Add Attribute node. We create a simple material for this joint. Separate XYZ node. Color ramp node. Add mix color node. Change to multiply with 0.2 factor. Add a wave texture node. Add a mix color node. Add a color ramp. Change color ramp a bit like this. We will get lighter color on the middle of this joint. Add hue color node and change a bit. Okay, we will put these joints on the bark. First, we add a trim curve node to set start position of branches. Add a resample curve nodes. Count will be number of branches. Add a curve to points node. Change to evaluate to get point based on control points of the curve. Add instance on points node. Drag and drop the joint into geometry nodes window. Connect to instance. Add a capture attribute node with spline node. Connect to scale socket. Size of the joints will change along the bark. Add a float curve node to reverse the size. Use joint geometry node. Sometimes the joints do not fit the bark because the resolution of bark curve is not high enough, so we have to increase resolution of Bezier segment to 100. Now we have a problem. These joint is spread evenly on the bark. It is not real because the density of joints is higher when go to the top, or the internode length is shorter when go to the top. So we have to redistribute the point on bark curve. We will use subdivide curve node to solve this problem. This node will divide one control point into 2, 3, 4 or higher points based on the cuts number we put in. We will have an idea. Increase the number of cut along the curve. Use factor of spline parameter node. The factor change from 0 to 1 corresponding to bottom to the top of curve. That means the factor is increase along the curve. We will use this factor to control number of cuts. And a map range node to change range of factor. Change to max to 10. Now you can see the number of cuts is increase along the curve very clearly. We will use the count value same as to max value from group input node. After this step, the number of points is too high, so many points. We have to reduce it. Add a delete geometry node. This node will help you delete some element you want based on the selection. You can delete points, edge, face, instance or spline. Add a math node. Change to truncated modulo. Add a capture attribute node. Change to integer. Add an index node. We will capture index attribute of these points to make selection. Connect the count input to second value of truncated modulo node. Now the number of points is only half of value we want. Add a math node. Change to multiply with 2. And now we have 10 points with 10 count input. Now we will try to add branches as we did before with twig. This way will lead to some problems. I will tell you in the next video. Duplicate instance on points node. Joint geometry. Drag and drop branches collection. Now we can see Blender is becoming slow, very slow. The leaves don't appear anymore. Maybe it is the limit of Blender. We use too much instances of instances layers. So we have to use realize instances node to convert all small instances to geometry. We will use realize instances node for leaves, small twigs, the number of object will decrease. Add realize instances node for branches one more time. I will reduce number of branches. Scale down them. After realize instances we will face another problem. The textures of leaves is not showing right on twigs, small branches and branches. So we have to open shader editor window and change something like this. Check the UVS name very carefully in each shader. OK, done. We will scale down the small branch a little bit. If we use instance on points node for branches same as the joints, the branches will grow from the middle inside the bark. It's weird. It should grow from the joints. So we have to tweak the geo nodes for this. We will solve this problem in the next video. Thank you for watching and happy blending.